So coming back again in this quality management, we said that we will develop a quality management plan, documenting all the requirements and standards and all that. In managed quality, we are focused on the process of translating that quality management plan, and not only the quality management plan, but the everything else which is happening according to the project management plan. Uh, Managed quality will have a keen eye on whatever is happening. So, how can you see if the things are happening right or wrong? Number one, if I am the quality, I am looking at the quality assurance of my processes. I would firstly ask whatever anyone is doing, is it properly documented? Is he following that documentation? Is he working according to the documentation which has been created to do that job? And is everybody else doing the same? If not, then probably first of all the documentation has to be created. Secondly, all the people working on it must be trained to follow the documentation, and they must be doing it consistently. Okay, if everything is right, everybody, there is a documentation for doing everything, there is a proper training to everyone, everybody is functioning exactly according to that plan, and everything is looks okay, then the second level of role of managed quality is to keep checking the processes while they are happening to see if there are any bugs in it. You know, the documentation we created, the process we created might have been faulty and we may not have known it. So we will keep finding the fault. And if at all we ever find during execution, we find this fault, we will correct that immediately through our change request. Okay, fine. If there is no fault, but there is a room for improvement, the process can be enhanced or improved. Again, it is the job of managed quality to fix that thing. So responsibility is responsibility of managed quality is continuously improve. So the continuous improves can only happen if it is live in execution. It has the capacity to see how the things are happening, and while they are happening, it can change them through a change request. That is as far as the managed quality is concerned. Control quality is not about process. This is about the product. Whatever we are creating during the project management processes, and whenever any deliverable or part of deliverable is produced from any process or activity or work package, that is reaching monitoring and control. So any deliverable when reaches monitoring and control, control quality is the first process to hit it. For what purpose? To check if it is all right for quality. Naturally, according to the quality management plan, that item must be of good quality, acceptable quality, whatever the quality standards we have set. Naturally, this deliverable will have to be checked physically, and if it passes this test, we say this is a verified deliverable. And if not, then this deliverable is defective, and noting that defect, we can send it back for change request. But you remember, after a deliverable has been verified by quality and quality control, naturally it passes through quality control and moves on to the next step, and that is scope validation. We already studied in scope that scope validation is responsible for the completeness of the deliverable, while control quality is responsible for the correctness of the deliverable. So control quality is the process of monitoring and recording the results of executing the quality management activities to assess performance and ensure the project outputs are complete, correct, and meet the customer requirements, expectations. Now, just like any other diagram, we have any other knowledge area. This is one of the images where we see all the three, all the quality processes here. Manage quality management is in planning. Manage quality, sorry, plan quality management is in planning. Manage quality is in execution, and control quality is in monitoring and control. So one process each, and you can see the ingredients of the inputs, tools, and techniques and outputs, which we can discuss subsequently. This is another diagram which shows a major project quality management process interaction. You can see here, yeah, that quality management, plan quality management, which is a quality management plan. Um, Quality management plan comes out of the plan quality management process, and also gives you the way how to measure the quality. That is called quality metrics. No matter what item we are checking, what process we are checking, or deliverable we are checking, there must be a measure, there must be a mechanism how to see how well that quality has been implemented. So quality metrics would act as a scale or measure for that purpose. We already have the project integration management in place, and that integration management is also going to be looking after the deliverables and work performance data. And we know what happens to the work performance data and what happens to the deliverable. That means from execution, direct and manage project work process is giving out the deliverables and work performance data to the, naturally, to the monitoring and control. And control quality is also there. So it also receives both of these items. Moreover, plan quality management has given the quality management plan and matrix, which is coming not only to manage quality in execution, but it is also going to control quality in monitoring and control. Coming back to manage quality has got from the organizational process assets, the quality templates, documentations, whatever they have to be followed. And based on the quality management plan and matrix and the templates, it develops the quality report, which could be sent to other processes. If any process is amended for better quality, for continuous improvement, then it is done through a change request, and that quality report can be shared with other processes as if they can follow it. With quality control, as we already said, that we have to look at two things. Naturally, the main purpose is that deliverable, and this deliverable is coming as a raw deliverable to the quality control. Quality control, if accepts it, if it approves it, it becomes a verified deliverable, and the verified deliverable goes to validate scope, and then validate scope checks it for completeness, and if it passes the validate scope check, it becomes a accepted deliverable. Now, let us look at what is going back from quality control to manage quality. First of all, in control quality, we are actually undertaking those measurements which we designed in quality management plan. So number one, we are sending those measurements back to manage quality. So what happens? These quality control measurements, when they get back to manage quality is greatly benefited by, because before that, manage quality was trying to find the faults with existing processes by hit and trial. It didn't know where the fault actually lies. Now, previously it was completely blind. Now, this quality control measurements will shed a lot of light, and it will act as eyes for the managed quality to show from where the mistakes are happening. The quality control measurements show the mistakes, and those mistakes will be traced and tracked down by managed quality to the source, and ultimately the problem would be highlighted and corrected. Moreover, the work performance data which was received by the control quality is also converted into work performance information, and that naturally goes to the direct and managed project, uh, monitor and control project, but a copy of that goes to manage quality as well. So you now can understand the whole process of quality management plan coming with the alongside the quality metrics, integration we are getting from execution we are getting delivered on our work performance data, manage quality.
Uh, Sir, I have to take a call. Sorry, if you can give me 1 minute, please. I'm
Sure,
sorry about this.
sure. So I was trying to explain this interaction of quality management processes, and probably there is no doubt about it. If there is any comment, then please tell me.
Right, yes, fine.
Okay. Moving on, let's look at some of the key concepts of project quality management. As I was telling you already, that quality is not about the standards. Nobody else is going to set standards for you for your quality. It is your quality, and you have to serve your customer. So basically, meeting customer requirements by overworking the project team may result in decreased profits and increased levels of overall project risk, employee attrition, errors, and rework. Firstly, we understand that it is all about the customer. Secondly, we should not be trying to fulfill those customer requirements which we can hardly meet. So be comfortable, look at your team, their capabilities, do not overwork them, and then try to achieve the customer requirements. Secondly, if at all there is so much job, why are you restricting your team? Increase your team. If job is that much and customer requirement is that high, then you must build a bigger team to complete their task, or you give them enough time to do the job. Job must be done right. So that is one basic concept, that first of all we have to meet the customer requirement. That is a key focus. And secondly, just to meet the customer requirement, we cannot overwork our team. Then meeting project schedule objectives by rushing planned quality inspections may result in undetected errors, decreased profits, and increased post-implementation risk. Both cases, you see, the risk is increased. Normally, we are driven by our schedule. Our bosses are just about to do everything soon, early. So what happens is that quality is usually the first casualty of war. We try to rush the inspections. We try to, even not only the inspections, even quality assurance is not being done right. And this is exactly we have faced earlier also in one of the projects. We were asked to do the job in 1/6 of the time initially allocated. And the first casualty was the quality. Neither the quality assurance could be done right, nor the quality control, and ultimately the product was faulty. It was so risky. There were a lot many things which could not have been detected, and it was only the customer who identified those errors. We didn't have time to check the things. Then there is a difference between quality and grade. I hope you understand what is the quality and what is the grade. Any opinions on that?
Quality or the grade?
Yeah.
I believe quality is a general term, and grade will be certain classifications or certain measures defined as having a certain milestone of quality. But I'm not really sure, to be honest.
Actually, as it is written right in the first sentence, quality and grade are not the same concepts. They are not same at all. Quality as a delivered performance or result is a degree to which a set of inherent characteristics fulfill requirements. Whose requirements? Customer requirements. How much this product comply with the customer requirement That defines the quality. Whereas grade is not how well it is complying, but it is about how much you are providing him, how much functionality you are providing him. Grade as a design intent is a category assigned to deliverables having the same functional use but different technical characteristics. For example, let us take the example of a simple Nokia phone which is perfect in its voice quality, in its functionalities and everything. This has not many functions, so the gradability is very low, but the quality is very high because the signal quality, the sound quality, and everything is perfect. So low gradability and high quality. Now let us take example of another phone from maybe China, where they will give you such functionalities which you have never seen in any phone before. They will tell you this phone can accommodate 4 SIMs. This phone can, function as a radio or television and this and that. Those functionalities which are not even required in a phone, but they will just, pump in all the functionality. And none of the functionalities provided is of any quality. That is low quality, high grade. Naturally, we are not satisfied with low quality, low grade. That is absolutely out of the question. We should also not be satisfied with low quality, high grade or high quality, low grade. Generally, in project management, our target is to have high quality, high grade. But naturally, the gradability is about scope. Gradability is not about quality. Gradability is what all functions are to be included in the project. That is my product scope. So gradability is not to be confused with quality. Are you clear about this?
Yes, this is clear.
Right. Okay. Then there is a difference between prevention, attributes and tolerances. Prevention is preferred over inspection. Why? I hope this is a very simple question and you would know. Prevention is preferred over inspection.
It's always better to nip the evil in the bud, because if you don't prevent and then find the issue during inspection, you will have more cost and time for rework and delays and all those things. So if you can fix the issue while in the prevention phase, it's better.
Exactly. You see, it has defined it very beautifully in front of prevention. It says keeping errors out of the process. So you are taking such measures that those errors do not happen at all. Whereas inspection is keeping errors out of the hand of the customer. Now, errors are happening in the process, but we are having a very good quality control process, which is sorting out the goods, the products, and it is ensuring that nothing with bad quality lands into the hands of the customer. So that can save your repo, but that cannot save the waste you are causing within your factory. So this is the difference between the prevention and inspection. Attribute sampling and variable sampling. Attribute sampling is the result either conforms or does not conform. This is the attribute, whether these attributes are present or they are not present. If they are not present, they are rejected. The item is rejected. This is the attribute sampling. Now, these are the 5 factors which have to be there. It is just like we do the scope validation. In scope validation, we have got a checklist. All these functions have to be there. This is attribute sampling. So all these functions are there, that is approved. If they are not, any one of those functions is missing, it is not approved. Whereas variable sampling is the result is rated on a continuous scale that measures the degree of conformity. Once we talk about conformity, we are talking about quality. So how much does it conform? It is a variable scale. It is an analogous scale. So this attribute sampling is more akin to the scope, whereas this variable sampling is a feature of quality. Then we have got tolerances and control limits. Tolerance is basically a topic of risk management. We'll talk about it more in detail there. But this is the limit, the range within which the results are deemed acceptable. You know, you have, for quality control, you have already defined in your quality management plan that this specific dimension with a variation of plus minus, say, 3 units is okay with me. I can accept it. So you have defined this tolerance. Plus minus 3 is the tolerance. And the control limit is the distance between plus 3 and minus 3. This whole limit is control limit within which the items are acceptable. Anything going out of the range on the negative side or the positive side is not acceptable. This is my control limit that identifies the boundaries of common variation in a statistically stable process or process performance. You got this?
This is clear.
So we three very important differentiations we have seen: prevention over inspection, attribute sampling and variable sampling, tolerances and control limit. Although tolerances and control limit are very much alike, but tolerance is the limit, the acceptance limit, and within that acceptance limit, the area is called control limit. And then naturally there is the concept of cost of quality. Have you ever heard about what a cost of quality is?
No, actually, I've not heard the term.
Okay. I'll see if I have a diagram here because I don't know if they still have the diagram. It is something like, you have, if you want better quality, you have to pay more. This is the basic lesson. If you want better quality, you have to pay more. So there is a cost of quality. But then the question is, I have two things to do. Number one, I can assure the quality. And number two, I can control the quality. Right. If I do not assure the quality, all the load is on quality control, and basically what I'm doing is I am not preventing. If I am not quality assuring, I am not preventing. I am just inspection. I'm just doing the control part of it. That way, what will happen is the customer will be okay because customer is not getting anything wrong. We have got a very strict quality control, but we have got a lot of defective items or rejected items which we have to send back for either rework or scrapping. So the cost of quality, if I only resort to quality control, will be very, very high. You understand my point?
Yes, it's very clear.
Okay, what can I do? If I can somehow take some preventive measures, do some good quality assurance, that will take off some load from quality control. Inspection will not be able to find more mistakes, and therefore the waste will be reduced. So my cost of quality from that point is coming down, whereas these preventive measures will also cost something which is naturally peanuts in front of the wastage we are having in control, but there has to be a balance between the investment we make in prevention and the quality control. So that delicate balance when we achieve, that is called the cost of quality. It is the cost of good quality is this prevention and all these things. These are the quality of cost of good quality, and that is the cost of bad quality. The rejections, the defects, the liabilities, if somebody is suing you for that or all that, the losses you are incurred, these all are cost of bad quality. So your cost of good quality and cost of bad quality must be properly balanced. This is called the cost of quality. You got it?
Right. It's clear.
Okay. 5 level of increasing effective quality management. First of all, the most expensive approach is to let the customer find the defects. So this is exactly what I was saying, that we are not even doing quality control and we are just throwing the product to the customer and customer is finding fault with it. This approach can lead to warranty issues, recalls, loss of reputation, rework cost and all that. Naturally, the biggest loss I have got here is the loss of reputation. Then the second is detect and correct the defects before the deliverables are sent to the customer. So what I'm trying to do, I am trying to have a good quality control going on, where I am finding the faults myself rather than sending them to a customer and facing their wrath. So I am fixing the problems myself and only sending those things to the customer which are of good quality. As I said earlier, this will cost you much because you are still committing mistakes. Though you are correcting them, but you are committing these mistakes. So the control quality process has related cost, which are mainly the appraisal cost and the internal failure cost. So this is the internal failure. Third way is use quality assurance. That we are coming back to prevention. Use quality assurance to examine and correct the process itself and not just the special defects. Don't focus on the defects only. Try to fix the process, continuously improve the process, and that's why I said this is the live check of processes. Quality assurance is live check of processes, and it has the capability of finding faults with the process and improving it. This happens in execution. Incorporate quality. Fourth point: incorporate quality into the planning and designing of the project and product. Though it doesn't seem like a big point, but it is a very big point. When you're planning for quality, then do not just jump to conclusions. Plan everything right from the outset. You must plan and design what quality is going to be in the project. That means the processes and the product. And finally, something about the total quality. Create a culture throughout the organization that is aware and committed to quality in processes and products. This is something is called total quality. That is, we are not only ensuring that our processes and our product is of good quality, but we as an organization are in habit of good quality. So this is our culture, this is part of our culture, that whatever we do it finely. So in a total quality environment, you will find that it is not only that the processes are, the deliverables are good, but the whole organization is well orchestrated. Their normal functioning also is of wonderful quality. This reminds me of an example where somebody was providing this bottled water, mineral water, and the bottles were very beautiful. They were, having all those certifications and everything. The quality of process was also assured. The quality of product was also, very well controlled and everything. But somebody went for the inspection of this facility, and they found out that although the quality control was in place and quality assurance was being done, and everything from that point is okay, but the organization itself was dirty. It was a completely dirty environment infested with cockroaches and all that. Although you are just cleaning up enough space for doing your operations and keeping it clean, but that does not mean that you are a quality organization. So to be a quality organization,
Right.
not only the process or the product, it is the whole organization which should cultivate a culture of quality. Gina.
It's clear for me.
Okay. Then the trends and emerging practices in project quality management. Customer satisfaction is our prime. This is something we are actually there for. We have to keep the customer happy. Whatever customer requires, that defines the quality. This is very important. So customer satisfaction is quality, not company rules. Like you see, nowadays we complain to any of the customer service of PTCL or anyone. They probably will block you with a lot many rules and regulations. So the customer is inherently unhappy. Their problems are not being fixed. So customer satisfaction is not there. How can they claim their service or any quality for that matter? So the organization has to understand, evaluate, define, and manage the requirements so that customer expectations are met. I have collected the requirements. I have the needs and expectations of the customer, but am I uh, able to understand them correctly, and am I doing it in accordance with the customer expectations? That is more important. I did note down their expectations, but whatever I'm doing it, is there a feedback loop? Is there a mechanism which is telling me that customer is happy with what we are doing? This requires a combination of conformance to requirements to ensure the project produces what it was created to produce. Number one, conformance. Whatever we are producing, is it what we are producing? Number two, whatever we are producing, is it fit for use? The product or service needs to satisfy the real needs. It is not a gimmick. If I'm supplying bottled water to someone, that bottled water is supposed to be infested, supposed to be taken in. What if your water is not of good quality and it cannot be consumed by humans? So it's not fitness for use. So conformance is one thing, and fitness for use is naturally customer centric. In agile environment, stakeholder engagement with the team ensures stakeholder satisfaction is maintained throughout the project. Because in agile, we are more in communication and contact with the customer all the time. After every sprint, after every iteration, we have to get the approvals for whatever we have produced. We hand it over to the customer. Customer has to kept satisfied. Number one. Number two, customer is also satisfied because he is able to flexibly change anything whenever they want. So customer is happy, very happy in agile, because in agile there is no problem of not managing the expectations well. Then the second point is a continuous improvement. This applies to our quality assurance thing as well as to the total quality concept. We must understand the Deming cycle. Deming cycle is plan, do, check, and act. Edward Deming was a big name in quality. He was the father of quality. Basically, he gave this continuous improvement concept in which it says that any process you want to do, you first need to plan it, then you need to act upon it, do it, and then you check what you have done, and naturally noting down any flaws in it, you must act upon it and correct it. So after one cycle, there will be some suggestions, some improvement in the system, and every time you do this, you will continuously improve. You will improve even further. So the first thing that this Deming cycle gives us is that every time we go through the PDCA cycle, we will enhance the quality. We will be continuously improving. The second question is, how much can we improve? According to Deming, you can improve infinitely. There is no limit to it. But humanly, we have some thoughts that, if I can improve a process from 0 to 60%, next time it is not going to be 60% because I am left only with 40%. So maybe the next time I try to improve it, it just go up to 30 more. So I reach 90%. Now I'm between the ceiling and the floor, the total space left is 10%. But the improvement will be there. Next time the improvement will be maybe 2% or 5%. So you see, every time we improve, the improvement itself gets smaller, but it is there. It is there. Now, there will be a time when you will almost touch the ceiling level, and then we think that it cannot be increased or improved any further. But trust me, this is where we are wrong. When we reach the optimum level, the ceiling level, we touch the ceiling. At that point, we realize that this is a false ceiling, and there is a whole wide world beyond that, and then opens new ground. Then we again find another sky on top of us, and then the possibilities of continuous improvement are again limitless. Again, we keep performing, and no, when we reach that ceiling, we break that ceiling as well. So that means, if you understand this theory, the continuous improvement is infinite. So, in addition, quality improvement initiatives such as total quality management is a quality improvement initiative. Six Sigma, you might have heard about it. Lean Six Sigma, they all contribute and they improve both the quality of the project management itself as well as the quality of the end product service result. Whatever we are producing, it is also impacted. Okay, are you okay with the concept of continuous improvement?
Yes, yes, it's clear for me.
Next thing is, management of the organization has to take the direct responsibility, and they must commit to whatever quality they want to achieve in this organization. If management is not taking the responsibility, you might hire a army of quality professionals spread all over the organization. It is not going to improve the quality of the organization as a whole. Total quality cannot be achieved. Why? Because the top level commitment is not there. Top level commitment is required, and they have to keep an eye on what is happening, what quality standards they wanted to meet, where they wanted to be, and if there is any funding required for some initiative, they must be able to do it. I have seen such organizations where they have an intricate system of quality management, but management is completely not aware about what the quality is and why is all this being done. They are doing the quality management just for you say just for fashion, because everybody else is doing, so we are also doing it. But they are not really committed to it. So when it comes to investing something towards quality, they have second thoughts. So management responsibility is supposed to be there. Success requires the participants of all members of the project team. Management retains within its responsibility for quality a related responsibility to provide suitable resources at adequate capacity. So when we require those things, they must be provided to us, and that is the responsibility of the manager. Mutually beneficial partnership with suppliers. An organization and its suppliers are interdependent. Naturally, if my supplier is of providing a poor quality, then naturally my quality will also be affected by it. Relationship based on partnership and cooperation with the supplier are more beneficial to the organization and to the supplier than traditional supplier management. Organizations should prefer long-term relationship over short-term gains. A mutually beneficial relationship enhances the ability for both the organizations and the suppliers to create value for each other, enhances the joint responses to customer needs and expectations, and optimizes costs and resources. As I said, different customers may have different quality, requirements. So if we are working for a specific customer and I have got certain partners and suppliers who are providing me those goods and we are able to produce the desired quality for that customer, then probably this complete combination of customer, our company and our suppliers, this has to be retained for a long term, because this will not be formed again in the same manner, in this around the same quality standards. There are the tailoring considerations, policy compliance and auditing. What quality policies and procedures exist in the organization? Naturally, our organization must have its own quality policy and all that. Naturally, it is not the responsibility of the project to have just the quality, but the organization also has some standards adopted for quality compliance. So whatever is the policy compliance uh, is inherited to whatever we are doing in the organization and we are doing the project. So our project is also governed by the same standard. So if your organization ISO certified, then all of your projects will have to be ISO certified. I mean, not separately, but they have to comply with whatever are the quality policy. And then there must be a mechanism by the organization for auditing as if all the projects and all whatever is happening in the organization is in accordance with the quality policy. So I'm not exactly mentioning which quality policy is it, but whatever has been suggested in the document, in the quality policy, that has to be followed. So what quality tools, techniques, and templates are to be used in the organization? This is decided through the quality, according to the quality policy. Then standards and regulatory compliance. Are there any specific quality standards in the industry that need to be applied? Now you see, as I said before, standards are not mandatory, but standards are created by the volunteer bodies, and they are just guidelines, and they are not mandatory by nature. But naturally, they are there for the betterment of the organization. If you follow some standards, then you will be able to produce better. So this is one part of it. The second part is, if the government organizations realize the benefit of a standard, they will adopt the standard, which was otherwise not mandatory. Now, because of the government regulation, it becomes mandatory. It becomes legal. It becomes a regulation. So, such like constraints can be imposed. So, it is not the fault of the standard that it has been taken as a constraint or a standard. Standard it is taken as a policy. So this is the adoption of the standard which makes it a regulation. Continuous improvement, we have already talked about it. How will quality improvement be managed in the project? Is it managed at the organization level or at the level of each project? So what is the level of continuous improvement? Naturally, if your organization is ISO certified organization, then probably organization-wide continuous improvement thing is also going on. But within your project, you will have to keep going with your continuous improvement. But remember, projects are not continuous in nature. Projects will end someday. So we cannot continuously improve the project. We cannot keep changing the requirements all the time. So continuous improvement in a project means that whatever we are supposed to be producing, in the pursuit of that, the approaches we have applied to create that product, those could be improved. And the product is not going to be part of the continuous improvement. So we will end it somewhere. Stakeholder engagement, is there a collaborative environment for stakeholder and supplier? Like in Agile, we have got a highly collaborative environment. So even if we are not working in Agile, still we need to have some kind of stakeholder engagement going on. Project manager is responsible for identifying the stakeholders and keeping them engaged throughout the life of the project. Stakeholders should not feel left alone. They should be always feeling themselves a part of the game. Then are the considerations for agile and adaptive environments. In order to navigate changes, agile methods call for frequent quality and review steps built in throughout the project rather than toward the end of the project. You see, we have got small iterations. The quality control will happen for every iteration. So this is a continuous process. Even quality control is a continuous process. Quality assurance is happening within, but at the end of every iteration, I have to do quality control. So that means we have more frequent reviews happening here. Recurring retrospectives means when you look back, when you complete a iteration and deliver it, then you get your lessons learned recorded at the end of every iteration. So every 2 weeks, after every 2 weeks, you record your lessons learned, and that is the retrospective. Regularly checks on the effectiveness of your quality process, and that serves as the continuous improvement. You will improve those things in your next cycle. They look for the root cause of the issues, then suggest trials of new approaches to improve your quality. Subsequent retrospectives evaluate any trial processes to determine if they are working and should be continued, or new adjusting and shall be dropped from use. In order to facilitate frequent incremental delivery, agile methods focus on small batches of work. As I said, small iterations. So incorporating as many elements of project delivery as possible, small batch systems aim to uncover inconsistencies and quality issues. Naturally, if we are doing in small batches, then probably it is much easier to find the flaw, and quality control can be much more effective. So that was generally about the various key factors and agile and other tailoring requirements. Coming over to the quality management itself, if you can see this is the process for preparing the quality management plan. Now again, like any other planning process, this needs to be very elaborate, because how the quality will be managed, assured, or controlled is actually designed here. We plan everything right here. So we must have all the specific tools to do that. Now, once we talk about the tools, you will see that we are not really stranger to these tools. Some of these tools may be new, but most of the tools are the same. So what are the inputs? Naturally, for every management plan, we need a charter, the project charter. We need the project management plan in whatever condition it is. Its ingredients may be different, but project management plan is the input. All the project documents we have so far created, they might be the input, and enterprise environmental factors and process assets will be the input. I'm more interested towards the tools and techniques here. Naturally, the expert judgment, and last one is a meeting. This we have been having almost in all of the previous processes. Let's see what else. Here we are having data gathering. So this is something in addition to the collect requirements. There also we did some data gathering. There also we read out the expectations of the stakeholders, and we also must have collected some quality requirements. But naturally, we need to be sure about the thing. So there is a separate effort that with specific attention to the quality, we confirm certain things with the stakeholder, or for that matter, we collect new data from the stakeholder. So for data gathering, naturally I want to capture the whole essence of quality. What are the requirements of the stakeholders? Because I have just told you, this is all about the customer requirement. Quality is all about the customer requirement and then compliance with it. It's not about some international standards. So we have a number of tools here. Naturally, the tools shown here might not be enough. There could be more, but this is the minimum batch here. Benchmarking. I would like you to define, how do you see what a benchmarking is?
Benchmarking would be, in our field, it was like, for example, you are benchmarking your network with the other networks. So, for example, I'm working for, let's say, Mobilink. So, I will be benchmarking the service of Mobilink with other competition operators like Zong and Telenor. And then with some certain KPIs will be defined, which will be compared between the different service providers to gauge where you are in terms of market competition.
Wonderful, wonderful. This is the first time somebody has given me the right definition for a benchmarking. People normally think that we set our standard for ourselves and then compare it with that standard, and that becomes the benchmark. No,
right.
You are absolutely right in saying that we benchmark ourselves against our competitors. And while we do that, we do understand who is leading the industry in what capacity. and where do we stand, and where are others standing. So you, first of all, in benchmarking, you are able to position yourself in the industry, and then you can strategize. And if you have to improve, then whom should you beat? Where are you standing? And who else is in front of you? And whom should you beat? And what are they good in? And what are you supposed to be improving? So this is exactly the benchmarking. Is it what you mean?
Right.
Okay, so benchmarking is a very important tool, and it is to be used specifically in this quality also. Brainstorming. We have been talking about brainstorming all the time. Brainstorming is a creativity tool. We are somehow uh, forcing our team or our stakeholders or our customers to think out of the box and try to come up with any other requirement. So as far as quality is concerned, we want to be much more creative, and we want to explore all those things which are, we are eliciting information. And when we are eliciting information, that means you are trying to capture what even your customer cannot tell you. So brainstorming could be a very good tool for that. And another very good tool is interviews, because interview is the only way in which you can have qualitative data received. You can actually talk to the person, you can actually discuss with the person and make lengthy notes about it, what exactly he requires. So if possible, interview is the most qualitative way of collecting the data. It is not quantitative. How many people have said this? No, we are not talking about it. I might have talked to only one person, but I talked with him in a lot of detail, and my discussion has yielded almost a complete picture of what this organization needs. Naturally, in interviews, I also confirm those information. It's not that one person has told me something and I believe it. I have had a detailed interview with this person, and then maybe a confirmation interview with two other people. And once I understand that these are exactly the requirements what they need, then I will move ahead with that. Then data analysis. Naturally, we already understand what the cost benefit analysis is. In data analysis, we'll have the cost benefit analysis, and naturally we did study cost benefit analysis in the chapter of cost, but this is not relevant even to the cost, but it is relevant to almost all the knowledge areas. Even before the project was started, feasibility, business case, we had this cost benefit analysis going on. So in cost benefit analysis, what all different options you have as far as the quality are concerned, you will weigh them and see how much money you are investing into it, how much benefit are you getting out of it, which is the best option, is it feasible, is it not feasible, and all that. Cost of quality I have already explained to you. Decision making, sometimes you have to take your decision based on multiple criteria. So once it is multiple criteria, decision might be slightly difficult. So what you do is you give priority marks to each criteria. You give weightage to every criteria, and then you form a formula, and then your decision making becomes much easier. Data representation, whatever you are doing in quality management planning, how do you represent it? How do you show it? How will it work? People I have interviewed, they have told me how the things work, but how do I depict that? To depict the procedures and methods and all that, I may use certain data representation tools like flowcharting, logical data models, matrix diagrams, mind mapping, anything you are not really aware of. Mind mapping, did I tell you before?
Oh, sorry, your voice just broke.
Okay. Did we talk about mind mapping earlier?
No, I think you just gave a brief introduction, but we did not talk about it in detail.
Okay. Well, we will not be talking about mind mapping in much detail. Just I wanted to introduce the concept. Basically, mind mapping was created by Tony Buzan a couple of years ago. I mean, 70s, a couple of decades ago. Uh, Tony Buzan came up with the idea that if we can, instead of taking notes, if we can draw some kind of a diagram in which our ideas are expanded from a core idea. So whatever was the main uh, focus of discussion, you put it right in the middle in shape of a picture or a dialogue or whatever you want to call it, and then you expand tentacles out of it. So this thing can be divided into 5 parts. So 5 tentacles will come out of it, and those 5 tentacles will also be named something. So each tentacle then will be explored, and it will further be opened up. It is just like a WBS, but WBS goes from top to bottom. This thing goes from center to around. So this can be very useful for several things, like for flow charting, for what do you say, breakdown structures, for even for people who have been using mind mapping for writing books. What they do is whatever is the title of the book, they write it in the middle of it, and then they have the chapters around it, and then each chapter, what are the key points in it, so they are put around it, and then so on and so forth. So there are many applications for mind mapping also available nowadays on your computers and your mobile applications, and you can use them to record the minutes of the meetings, to do the WBS or risk breakdown structure or resource breakdown structure, any kind of breakdown structure, you can do it on that. You can do almost all of the project management on it. So mind mapping tools, interestingly, are plugins for Microsoft Office. So if you have created something on mind map, right, like an author is trying to write a book, so he has created the structure on mind map that will be imported into MS Word, and it would be shaped like a document, and whatever indentations and all that he has there will automatically be created, and he can then start filling in the document. Similarly, minutes of meeting can automatically be created from that document, and you can send them out to all the people who have attended the meeting. So mind mapping, if you want to explore more, probably look for Tony Buzan's book on mind mapping. Nowadays, I see there are many other people who have written many books on mind mapping, but naturally, the main author, the person who was inventor of the idea, that is the best. Tony Buzan's book you must find and see how the mind mapping is done.
Okay.
Then test and inspection planning. How are you going to do the testing? And this must be made part of the schedule. Test and inspection planning. Naturally, you have already planned what inspections are to be carried out, but then when are they to be carried out? This is going to be part of the schedule. Resultantly, we will have the quality management plan and quality metrics. Very important, because until and unless we don't have the quality metrics, we don't know how to measure the quality. So every part of quality which have to be measured must be defined as a metric. Respective project management plan and project documents will be updated in light of that. So let's jump on and see. I think there is nothing much. We have already discussed these points. If you want to look at cost benefit analysis, data analysis, this could be something you want to talk about. Cost benefit analysis, as I told you earlier, this is a financial analysis tool used to estimate the strengths, weaknesses of alternatives in order to determine the best alternative in terms of benefits provided. And if you remember what we studied in cost, then probably you will remember all those tools like NPV, IRR, and whatever. So that was cost of
Yes.
maintenance. Cost of quality, there are, I said there were a cost of good quality and cost of bad quality or poor quality. Prevention cost related to the prevention of poor quality in the product deliverable or services of the specific project. So if we prevent the cost, we are actually saving money which we had to spend in the correction of the deliverable. So we are preventing the poor quality. All the money spent in preventing the mistakes would be cost of good quality. Appraisal cost. Appraisal cost is, I call certain people to inspect my system and, comment on it or whatever. So these inspections and the quality appraisals, they will cost me something, but they will also act as prevention because they will enhance and improve my existing system. So before the failure occurs, before the quality control damages us, we can have this appraisal cost. So appraisal cost and prevention cost both put together are the cost of good quality. And the failure cost could be internal or external. Maybe, internally we have a lot many defects and we have to fix them. Or if it goes into the hands of the customer may sue you, may put liability claims onto you, and lot many other things. So failure cost is basically the cost of bad quality or poor quality. The optimal COQ is one that reflects the appropriate balance for investing in the cost of prevention and appraisal. This is exactly what I said. You have to strike a balance between the cost of good quality and poor quality, and that will be different for every product. So this diagram you will just see. You are not able to see this diagram. Are you there? Adnan, are you there? Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
How long you are not able to listen to me?
Almost 1 minute or so.
Okay. Probably I was talking about the cost of quality or before that?
Cost of quality.
Okay. So this diagram explains the cost of quality. Cost of conformance is the cost of good quality. Cost of non-conformance is cost of poor quality. What is included in conformance? There are two things: prevention cost and appraisal cost. Prevention cost, what all we can do to prevent the problems from occurring. So that could be through training, providing proper training to the people, proper processes, documented processes, proper equipment, right time, right thing to be done, all that, proper scheduling, all that. This will prevent the things from happening. Then there is yet another cost, that is the appraisal cost. We call others to test what we are doing for inspections, for appraisals. So all the money we spend for that effort is also included in cost of good quality or cost of conformance. Because due to that appraisals, we are not going to commit those mistakes. But cost of poor quality or cost of non-conformance is naturally either internal or external. If it is internal, if the customer is not getting the bad quality, then we have to rework or we have to scrap something. If it is external, if the bad quality reaches the customer, we will be applied with the liabilities. We will have to fulfill the warranty claims. We may lose business from that. specific customer. So this is how we can look at it. Okay, then we have decision making, data representation. Okay, what should be included in the quality management plan? I think it's not a template, but generally from the perspective of quality management plan, what all must be included. You must specify what quality standards will be used in your project. If you are referring to some international standards or whatever, that must be specified in the project management plan. Quality objectives of the project must be explained. What are the quality specific roles and responsibilities? These are also to be explained. Project deliverables and processes subject to quality review. Quality control and quality management activities planned for the project. Quality tools that will be used for the project. Major procedures relevant to the project, such as dealing with non-conformance, corrective actions, and all that. So these are some of the components which could be included in the quality management plan, but you can have other. If your organization is already following some quality policy, then probably they will guide you what is to be included in your project management plan, what your quality management project quality management plan should include. So they may have their own requirements, but this is a general guideline. Then we have the metrics, and I have already explained that these metrics are there to measure your processes and your product. And then we have the updates. Coming over to the managed quality. Okay, in managed quality, this is the process of translating the quality management plan into executable quality activities. So it is happening in execution. We have created a quality management plan. Now we are putting it to use. We are executing it. That incorporate the organization's quality policies into the project. Naturally, if organization has its own quality policy, we must have included that or linked that to our quality management plan, so it incorporates that. Key benefit of this process are that it increases the probability of meeting the quality objectives, as well as identifying the ineffective processes and causes of poor quality. Managed quality uses the data and results from the controlled quality process to reflect the overall quality status of the project to the stakeholders. Like, people confuse it. They think that this has something to do with the product. It does not, but naturally, whatever is happening in quality control, in monitoring and control with the deliverable, the measurement results are coming back to managed quality. Basically, the purpose of managed quality is to deal with the processes, the quality of the process. But still, while the execution is happening, the deliverables are delivered. You understand? Although managed quality or quality assurance is not responsible for the quality of the product being created during the execution, but due to their preventive measures or whatever kind of good quality measures they are undertaking, the product quality is automatically impacted by that. So,
Right.
as far as we are concerned, if I'm only talking about managed quality, my focus would be on the work, on the process, the quality of the process. So, quality assurance is my focus. So what do I have? I have the quality management plan as an input in project documents. I'll get all those quality control and metrics and everything which I had created earlier. Now in tools and techniques, again, I will have data gathering, but this time the data gathering is only about a checklist. We would have created checklists in planning, which we are going to use now. So for every process, I will see, is it documented? Is people properly trained? And this and that. So this kind of checklist could be there, which will help me audit various processes. Then I must be able to do the data analysis. If this process is being done this way, is there another way of doing this process? Alternative analysis. Then document analysis, previous documents and all that. whatever process has been documented, I will read through it and see if there are any bugs, any problems in it. Process analysis and root cause analysis. Root cause analysis is required when I get the data from quality control. Quality control measurements, when I receive, you see, quality control measurements are there in the input. They are coming from quality control. So when the quality control will be done in monitoring and control, those measurements will be sent back to manage quality, and here I will be able to apply the root cause analysis and find the source of the fault and correct that process. Decision making, again, same multi-criteria decision making analysis. Data representation, again I have got almost the similar tools. A few are different, like affinity diagram, cause and effect diagram. Okay, we'll just directly jump to these things. Audits carry out designed for X problem solving and quality improvement methods. I'll talk about these. As a result, we create a quality report from managed quality. Test and evaluation documents are there. Change requests, right. The test and evaluation document, this is, we are giving this input to the control quality. So based on what we have done here, quality control will be able to better test and evaluate things when they are being inspected. Change request, if any, can be moved from here because this is the only process. This is the only process which can fix the processes. Therefore, change request can be moved from here. Naturally, the project plan and documents will be updated. Let me directly jump to the tools and techniques. Yes. Here we are, data analysis, alternative analysis, document analysis, process analysis, and root cause. This I have explained already. Data representation. Affinity diagram can organize potential causes of defects into groups showing areas that should be focused on the most. Let's see what affinity diagram looks like. Okay, this is not shown in this chapter. This affinity diagram we have already seen in scope. So we have to go all the way back to see that. Cause and effect diagram. Did we discuss the cause and effect diagram, which we call Ishikawa?
No, we have not discussed.
Okay. So when you have certain defects recognized, that, for example, Bata company is making shoes, and there are a number of problems with the shoes that are rejected. Some of the items have been rejected from quality control, and there are a number of problems from there. So, for example, one problem is that the sole of the shoe is not properly, the adhesive is not proper, and it is not properly joined together. So, when this problem comes back to quality, manage quality, what the project manager should do? What do you think?
He will go back and check the quality of the pasting material, or the process by which it is being joined. Maybe it has some constraint or some issue that is causing it.
That means you are trying to trace back to the cause. You have the
Yes.
effect in front of you, and from here you are trying to trace back why this effect could have occurred. And then ultimately you found the requisite process, and then you fix that. So this is done
Right.
through a cause-effect diagram, which I'll just show you. It was created first by a Japanese person named as Ishikawa. And because it looks like a fish bone, so it is also called a fish bone diagram. So here it is. This is the fish bone diagram. Like in this case, the effect was on the extreme right corner, product quality not matching the requirements. So you have to have certain major categorizations in which you must classify this problem. First of all, Is it the problem due to the equipment? Is it the problem due to the process, our people, our material, our environment, our management? So if you see that this is the problem of the process, you will go in that direction, leaving all others. In process, there are further branches. This may be due to not enough R&D, or this may be due to non-optional manufacturing methods. So you see, you are trying to dig down, and even if you have to go even deeper, you can go deeper. So you started with the effect, and we are trying to pinpoint the exact cause of that thing. This is called cause and effect diagram. Then we carry out the audits. An audit is a structured, independent process used to determine if project activities comply with organizational and project policies, processes, and procedures. Now, what I am trying to say is there is a difference between audit and inspection. Audit is all about the process. So, during quality assurance or managed quality, we do not do any kind of inspection. Whatever we are doing, we are talking to people, we are collecting data, we are training people. Whatever we are doing, we are checking the skill of the people, we are checking the document. So what we are doing is we are auditing. This is not called inspection. Inspection is when you look at the product and check it. That is in quality control it happens. In quality assurance or managed quality, we are basically audited. This reminds me of my school. When we were in school, there were always, every year there used to be an inspector coming to the school, and he used to come to every class and ask questions. So now I understand what he was doing was not inspection. He was actually auditing how the education is going on in different classes. If he had to inspect, he would have analyzed the result of the class. Why should he be coming to the class? Got it?
Yes, understood.
So this is audit. And what do we do in it? Quality audit objectives may include identifying all good and best practices being implemented, naturally regarding quality, identifying all non-conformities, gaps and shortcomings. So this is naturally the person who is auditing, he must be able to see. And remember, auditing, the auditor could be internal or external. As far as the managed quality, the person responsible for managed quality is concerned, he is responsible for internal auditing. But it is very much possible that organization has sent an external auditor to your project and he is looking at your processes. So identifying all non-conformities, sharing good practices introduced or implemented in similar projects in the organization, proactively offering assistance in the positive manner to improve the implementation of processes to help raise team productivity, and highlighting contributions of each audit in the lessons learned repository of the organization. So these are some of the objectives of the audit. I would like to talk about design of experiments. Design of X is a set of technical guidelines that may be applied during the design of a product for the organization of a specific aspect of the design. There is another concept which is called experiment. I'm just forgetting that that thing that was experimentation something. Anyways, here this is the technical guideline that may be applied during the design of a product for the optimal and specific aspect of the design. DFX can control and even improve the product's final characteristics. The X in DFX can be different aspects of product development, such as reliability, deployment, assembly, manufacturing, cost, service, usability, safety, quality. Using the DFX may result in cost reduction quality improvement, better performance, and customer satisfaction. So you see, you are going to apply all of these, items as X into it in your design. If you are designing for reliability, designing for deployment, designing for assembly. So what is most appropriate for you? This is important, because if you are designing for safety, then the design is going to be different. If you are designing for quality, design will be different. So design for X is a kind of experimentation with all of these various X's, and whichever is the requirement of my organization, which suits my requirements best, this is my design for X. Problem solving. Naturally, you might have read it many times before in different places. First of all, we define the problem, then we identify the root cause of it, then we generate possible solutions, then we choose the best solution, then we implement the best solution, and then we verify the effectiveness of the solution. So this is, I don't want to talk more about problem solving. It is a very common problem which we keep handling all the time. Quality improvement can occur based on finding and recommendations from quality control process. The findings of quality audit are problem solving in the managed quality process. All of these things, whether we are talking about the quality control findings and recommendations, or we are talking about the quality audit or problem solving things, advices coming to us, managed quality process can improve, continuously improve or enhance the process. Plan, do, check and act and Six Sigma are two of the most common quality improvement tools used to analyze and evaluate opportunities for improvement. Although Six Sigma and Plan, do, check and act are, we do understand what Plan, do, check and act is. It's all about continuous improvement. So quality will be enhanced. How do you relate Six Sigma to it? What does Six Sigma do?
Actually, I'm not aware of. I've heard the name, of course, the
Okay.
Six Sigma, Black Belt, and all those things, but I am not aware of the content.
Okay. Because it is just mentioned here, I will just briefly explain it to you. I don't want to give it a lot of time. In normal probability, we only go as far as 3 deviations plus and 3 deviations minus. We have already talked about the deviations, don't we?
Yes.
Dina, you remember? We have
Yes, I remember clearly.
the bell curve.
Yes.
याद है ना? And in bell curve, we said
बिल्कुल याद है.
3 deviations plus, 3 deviations minus. Basically, this all
Right.
started from the Japanese consistency on saying that there should be zero defect. That is exactly why the Japanese have better quality, because they are targeting for zero defect. But Americans and Western world, they were not convinced by this, because scientifically that is not possible that an ideal machine can be created. Meaning what? That it can produce more than what it feeds on, or even equal to that. Therefore, they used to joke about it. How is it possible there is no defect in an item? There will be some defect. So, Americans normally were working on this model, and this model of 3 plus and 3 minus gives them an accuracy, total accuracy of 99.74%. So there is
Right.
a room for 0.26% improvement. Got it?
Right.
So if they go to 3 sigma, to 3 deviations on the plus side and 3 deviations on the minus side, all the 6 put together, this is called 3 sigma. This is 3 sigma. Right? 1
Right.
plus minus is 1 sigma, 2 plus minus is 2 sigma, and 3 plus minus is 3 sigma.
Okay.
So this was 3 sigma they were working on, and their quality was very poor because they were not looking at the problem from where the Japanese were looking. When Japanese were looking at the problem from the bulk point of view, they were saying if a factory is producing 1,000,000 items a day, according to this 3 sigma or 3 deviations plus minus, we should be ready to accept the faulty items of 0.26%, which against 1,000,000 comes out to be around 65,000. And
Right.
he said no to that. He said no defects allowable. So
Right.
they started working on improving this, and they attained some level. I don't say that they attained the 0 level, but naturally the whole wide world was unaware of what is happening, and quality of Japanese skyrocketed. Later on, when Americans realized what they were doing wrong, they started to find a reason, and what they did was they created Six Sigma.
Right.
Right. This is a known fact that the tail. This is the tail. Can you see the both lower
Yes, I can see.
sides of the bell? They are called tails. One positive tail and one negative tail. This tail continuously comes down to the base. It continues to come down, but it never touches the base. That means the
Right.
optimist and the pessimist can exist even beyond that. Right?
Right.
So if the optimist and pessimist can exist beyond that, although that doesn't make a lot of difference, but that will take care of that 65,000 against 1,000,000. So
Right.
they thought, they decided on going beyond 3 sigma. So they went to 4 sigma, and they found that errors against 1,000,000 can be reduced to about 12,000. When they went
Right.
5 sigma, it came out to some few hundreds.
Mm-hmm.
6 sigma gave them a magic figure of 3.4. Meaning what? If 6 sigma quality is applied, the acceptance of defects is 3.4 defects against 1,000,000.
Right.
You see how much is the improvement from 65,000 to 3.4. So the
Right.
quality revolution occurred in whole of the industry, especially it is germinated by the Americans. So you have some idea about the Six Sigma.
Yes. Yes. It's clear.
Okay, ji. Test and evaluation documents can be created based on industry needs on the organization's templates. They are inputs to the quality control. This is important, that quality control needs the test and evaluation document. Manage quality is the creator of the test and evaluation document. Previously, it was supposed to be only doing the quality assurance job, but it is because it is also not dealing directly with the deliverable, but creating some help documents for them. So this is the role which managed quality has taken over for quality control. So these documents will be input to the quality control and will be used there. Okay, next, last but not the least, is the quality control, and naturally this deals with the deliverable, mainly the deliverable, but it also has something to do with the post-mortem of the processes. While quality assurance was not doing the post-mortem, quality assurance was acting on the live processes. So quality control will primarily see the deliverable. It will verify the deliverable against whatever criteria it has been provided. Plus, it will postmortem the processes, how well we performed in quality processes, and what we did wrong and what we did right, and what are the lessons learned. So this also will be recorded from here. So the inputs are naturally the quality management plan, documents, lesson learned, quality metrics, and the test and evaluation document, which was created by the quality assurance, is received here as an input. Any approved change request. Why approved change request? Change request could have come from anywhere to the monitoring and control, and any change request which gets approved a copy of that must be sent to quality control, as if they can start acting on the deliverable according to that approved change request. And you remember that approved change request is also sent to execution. Deliverable is the main input which we are waiting for in quality control, because we have to check the deliverable and verify it. Work performance data is the raw data which is going to be used for post-mortem of the quality processes, and the report it will form will be work performance information, and that will go to the monitor and control project work, as if that is converted into work performance report. Then we have enterprise non-pattern process assets. Tools, nothing new. Again, data gathering, we are using checklist, we are using check sheets, statistical sampling, questionnaires and surveys, and in data analysis, we are doing the performance reviews and root cause analysis, which we already know. Inspection is the major tool. Inspection is a major tool, whereas audit was a basic tool in managed quality. Inspection is a major tool here, because when we talk about deliverable, we do inspections. Then we had a test and evaluation document. Based on that, we will evaluate the product, test and evaluate the product. Data representations, again, the scatter diagram and all that, meetings. Ultimately, as a result of quality control, we will send out the quality control measurements, which are going where? They are going back to manage quality, as if it can do the Ishikawa and find the faults. And the deliverable which we received as an input after having inspected it, we are verifying the deliverable. The work performance data which we received from execution, after being analyzed here, we are converting it into work performance information. If there is a change, then we can move the change request, and naturally project and plan will be updated. If there is a change in quality management plan, project documents will be updated with the issue log, lessons learned register, or whatever. So I don't think there is any explanation required in quality control, because everything is crystal clear. Any questions about quality?
No, so far so good.